For the longest time, I used to think that was Itchy Woman. And I saw it in print. Changed the whole song. In 1971, Linda Ronstadt recruited local musicians Glenn Fry and Don Henley to play in her band. Henley had just moved to LA with his Texas band called Shiloh to record an album produced by Kenny Rogers. Fry had come to LA from Michigan to form a group called Long Branch Pennywhistle. Fry and Henley persuaded Ronstadt to hire some of their friends, Randy Meisner, who was working in Ricky Nelson's band. Doesn't that take you back? Working for Ricky Nelson's band. And also hired Bernie Ledden from the Flying Burrito Brothers. They all played together for Ronstadt just once. That was in Disneyland, before forming their own group called Teen King and the Emergencies. After performing under that dreadful name for a short while, they had a gig on the Mojave Desert which drew a crowd stoned mostly on peyote, and the remaining few were smashed on tequila. Bernie Ledden, who was kind of just feeling it himself, kind of got into the vibe of that, began reading some tracts on Hopi Indians and their reverence for eagles. It's like, wow, man, how cool is that? And so they decided to call themselves the Eagles. Through their many years, decades in fact, they went through personnel changes, lawsuits, fistfights, breakups, and recording new albums to prove they were reunited and not dead yet. But they somehow managed 5 #1 singles, 6 Grammy Awards, 5 American Music Awards, and 6 #1 albums. They were the most successful musical act in the 1970s. Hotel California is ranked number 37 in the Rolling Stones list of the 500 greatest albums of all time. Their greatest hits album was the best-selling album of the 20th century in the United States. But all that is boring. What I really want to get to, concerning the Eagles, is Don Henley. Don Henley, who I consider a kind of hero. I lived in the Boston area for 15 years before moving to Salt Lake City. And as a Unitarian minister there in the Boston area, I made many trips to Walden Pond, even dragging my little kids there because I wanted them to appreciate their Unitarian heritage, if they liked it or not. It didn't matter. But no piece on this sacred earth is immune from the greed of developers, not even Walden Pond, which was destined to become Walden Pond condominiums. The possibility loomed as pure sacrilegious until Don Henley caught wind of it. Reading Thoreau in college was Henley's greatest influence, and so he set about to saving this treasure of transcendentalist history. Henley founded the Walden Woods Project, devoted to the legacy of Thoreau and the preservation of Walden Woods. Founded in 1990, Henley prevented development of the land by raising $22 million. 25-acre parcels at that time were going for about $3.5 million each, and he bought a lot of them. Through Henley organizing benefit concerts, which drew people like Elton John, Aerosmith, Sting, Melissa Etheridge, Jimmy Buffett, Neil Young, etc., and through donating his proceeds from the album Hell Freezes Over and the sale of T-shirts and other concession items, sufficient money was raised to keep the land intact. The gratitude among both Bostonians, historians, transcendentalists, Thoreauvian students knows no bounds. Don Henley, he just thought it was the right thing to do for a great 19th century teacher. Thank you, Don Henley.